and welcome to another episode of Murray's Law. This is the time and the place where I answer your questions that are related to like the legal side of business, or maybe business tools, mindset, whatever you need answered in your business to get you the most success, right? Keep in mind that what we talk about in this session is not legal advice. It's information, and this is not going to force any type of attorney-client relationship between us. If you want to become a client, definitely give me a call. I would love to work with you. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Attorney Murray. I am a brand attorney and the founder of AlphaMark IP Solutions, where we help clients throughout the United States with trademarks, copyright, patents, and contracts. Yes. All right. Today's question for the Murray's Law is, how do I transfer my business to a beneficiary? How do I transfer my business to a beneficiary? And I think this is an amazing question, because most of us, we start our businesses so that we can provide a better life for our family, right? But what happens to that business when we die? So let's talk about that. What happens to your business when you're gone really depends on what you did while you were living. So what I want to talk about today are 3 things you need to have in place to make sure that your business is taken care of when you're gone. So the first thing you want to do is you need to make sure you select the right business entity. If you are operating your business as a sole proprietor, that means that you and your business are one. There is no difference between you and your business, which means when you pass on, those assets go to your estate, and the estate will take care of all your business debt, and then whatever happens is going to be according to your will. And if you don't have a will, it's going to be according to what the state says. Now here's the kicker. Let's say you have business assets, right, that are, like this, but then you have business debts that are like this. So your business assets can't cover those debts. Now what happens, because you're a sole proprietor, is your personal assets are going to be covered and taken from your estate to take care of that business debt, because there is no separation between you and your business. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have the right business structure set up. You want to have the right business structure set up to make sure that there is some sort of degree of separation between you and your business. So that's thing number 1. You want to make sure that you have some type of business structure, whether it's an LLC or a corporation, that's going to give you that degree of separation between you and your business. If not, if you're still operating as a sole proprietor, or even a partnership, if that matter, when you die, so let's talk about sole proprietor. When you die as a sole proprietor, your business and they're as one, so it's nothing to pass on. And if you're in a partnership, when a partner dies, if there's no type of agreement, which we're going to get to in number 2, then that business dies. That business no longer ceases to go on. So as far as what that partner might have wanted to happen with his interest in the business, we don't know, because there's no more business when the partner dies in the partnership. So that's thing number 1. You want to make sure that you have the right business entity set up. Number 2, come on now, y'all need written agreements. You need written agreements. So now let's say you decided not to be a sole proprietor, you decide to be, we're going to talk about LLCs for right now. You want to form as an LLC. And this is especially if you have more than one partner or member, which are called owners, you want to make sure that you have an operating agreement. That operating agreement, it spells out what's going to happen in the business on the day-to-day. And it also spells out what's going to happen to the business if somebody dies, or, we think about death, but what if someone becomes disabled? What happens to the business then? What happens to that member's interest? What happens if you don't have it written out and spelled out? It's going to be a lot of drama. One, that partner's business interest is going to go again to his estate, and in that manner, you need to talk about things in your contract. You want to know things like will the business be able to continue on? Because typically, you all came to this agreement to do this business, and if someone passes away, does that mean that the business now needs to be dissolved and wrapped up and no longer exists, and they need to start their own business? Or does this mean that the two members can move on by themselves? Or does this mean that now the person that passed away, their family or the estate, is now standing in that person's place as an owner? What do you want to happen? Whatever you want to happen, you need to write it down and make it clear what you want to happen. Now, with a corporation, the corporation is not a person, right? So when you form a corporation, it's its own separate entity. So when a shareholder passes away, the corporation does not cease to exist, even if the shareholder is a sole shareholder. Then the what you're looking at is the shares that they have in that business are going to go to the estate to be distributed the way that the will has dictated, and then the corporation will be wound down. One of the things that you've noticed that I've said a couple of times doing this is will. We need wills as business owners. We need wills as business owners, not just to protect our personal interests, but also to protect our business interests. Okay? So the first thing you want to do when you're preparing to pass on your business to a beneficiary is make sure that you have the right entity in place. Make sure that there's some type of degree of separation between you and the business. The second thing you want to do is have written agreements that really spell out what's going to happen to the business and the assets and the interest in the business when you pass away. And the third thing you want to do is make sure that you have good books. Keep your books up to date. We want to know what's going on with your business financially, right? What vendors are you working with? What debts do you have? What assets do you have? We need to be able to readily identify and know what's going on in your business so that we can make decisions. We can know the value of the business in case we want to sell it. We can know what your interest is if the business partners owe the estate money. We know how much it is, right? And also, if we go back to the written agreement, you want to be clear on when the money is due. Not only that this is going to happen, but when is it going to happen? So you need to talk about those things in your written agreements. And I guess the final thing, the bonus I would give you, is that you talk to your family. If your intent is to leave your business to your family, make sure your family knows. Don't leave it a secret, and make sure that that's what they want as well. And if that's the case, bring them in. Bring them in and let them start learning the business so that when you move on, the transition is not so hard for the employees and for the customers, because that person has already been in the business and they already know the systems and how it operates. All right, so that's the question. The question for today was, how do I transfer my business to a beneficiary? And we have 3 things that you need to consider when you're doing that. And the first one is making sure you have the right entity. The second one is making sure you have written agreements. The third one is keeping good books. And books not only refers to your financial records, but also your systems and your processes. And 4, talk to your family. Let them know what your intent is, and bring them in so that they can go ahead and be a part of it, and make the transition easier. All right? That's what I have for you today from Murray's Law. Thank you so much.